Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Before the Vote. I'm Bella Gentry, and I'm your host, and today we are joined by another special guest, Judge Shanta Owens. She served as a district judge in the criminal division of the 10th Judicial Circuit of Alabama for 10 years. In this position, she presided over cases ranging from misdemeanors to felonies. In 2019, she was appointed as a circuit court judge. She also serves as the presiding judge for the drug court program for the Birmingham division of Jefferson County. In addition to these positions, Judge Owens is a member of both the Alabama State Bar and the Woman Lawyer Section and Criminal Justice Section of the Birmingham Bar Association. So, as I'm sure you can tell, she has had a very accomplished career. So, thank you so much, Judge Owens, for taking the time to be here today. To start us off, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what your job entails.
As a circuit court judge, I am a trial court judge now. So, what I do most days is that I preside over trials. For instance, this week I presided over a reckless manslaughter case. Most weeks I am in trial presiding over cases ranging from unlawful possession of a controlled substance to capital murder cases. I also preside over bond hearings, and I have pretrial hearings in court, and those are the hearings that we hold before we actually set a case for trial to see if a defendant wants to plead guilty without going to trial. But my main duty is to preside over trials as a trial court judge, specifically to preside over jury trials.
Got it. So, how did you first become interested in the field of law?
I have always been very interested in law, probably from a very young age. Maybe 12 was about the first time that I thought about wanting to be a lawyer. I was always interested in advocacy. I've always enjoyed writing and public speaking. I can't say that I enjoyed advocacy so much at an early age for myself personally, but I liked looking at it and seeing other people advocate for others. And I wanted a career that was really going to be a real profession. And I've always liked to speak, advocate. I will say the older I got, I really was interested in advocating and doing and having a fulfilling career. So maybe at about age 12 is when I became interested in being a lawyer.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you pursue that interest to turn it into a career that you're talking about?
Great question. When I was and when I was in college, I always knew I would go to law school, but I majored in computer information systems, and that was just in case something went wrong with law school, I would be able to have a good foundation to build a career upon. But what I did in high school is I would reach out to other lawyers. Who were practicing to see if I could spend some time with them, and I did that really throughout my life just to see, hey, can I spend a day with you? Not necessarily, I wasn't looking to get paid for anything, but I was really trying to spend some time as a mentee, trying to find a mentor. So, yeah.
Got it. I read that you have invited middle and high school students into your courtroom to educate them on judicial processes and the dangers of criminal behaviors. So, why do you value working with youth so much?
Oh, I love for youth, particularly middle school students and high school students, to see what the consequences of their decisions and actions, to see what could happen, based upon bad decision making or good decision making. I particularly enjoy them being in court because they get an opportunity to see what the criminal justice system is like. And then I get an opportunity to show them a bunch of different scenarios that they may think is harmless, that they may say, oh, that's harmless behavior. And I will go through different scenarios showing them how, no, you can actually be charged with a felony for this. You can be charged with a crime. And so for me, I think is twofold. One, I like for younger people to see me as a judge, to see what they can achieve, also to see like, wow, she's a judge and she started out young wanting to be a judge and she was able to do it. And then secondly, I like for young people to see what the consequences of bad decision making, how it could end up, because I think it's very important that the earlier you learn to make good decisions that you do. And the best way to see that is to see it live and in person when you see a person in my courtroom who is young, who's made a bad decision.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you give that opportunity. It's super informative and helpful, I'm sure. So I know that you have taught them plenty through that experience of inviting them into your courtroom. But on the flip side, what have you learned from working with teens and young adults?
I've learned to listen to them, and I've learned that the things that maybe I think are very serious, they are things that they're dealing with on a daily basis. I've learned to have a little more understanding for people's situations because the family structure and community doesn't look like what it looked like when I was younger. And so I've learned to be more patient, to understand that, and to have a different conversation surrounding family structure, community, and decision making. It has made me listen more. So I've definitely learned from it also.
Yeah, absolutely. So continuing on the topic of youth, how did you engage with law, government, and politics as a teenager or a student?
As a teenager, my mom had us really, really involved in just various different things that were going on in the community. And my mom has been a librarian for most of my life, actually, ever since I was 9 years old. And so at the library, several different political organizations would meet, several different community organizations would meet at the library, and so I was able to really see a lot of people who wanted to change their community for the better. I saw that at a young age, like these people who were really passionate about changing their community for the better. And I think that just kind of stuck with me as I matriculated through life.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. So, similarly, why do you believe that teen participation in law and government is important in today's world?
I believe it is important because it's important for teens to understand that their voice matters. And it's important for them to understand it at an early age that your voice matters, and a little bit could determine a lot. And as uh, someone from another generation, we need to hear from teens. We need to hear ways in which we can get more done, we could be more productive. And an example of that is I think teens can use social media better than anybody in my generation. And if we work together with teens, social media is a very important, useful, and helpful tool in government these days. And I think it takes having someone of a younger generation, specifically a teenager, to show us how to do that. But social media is just one aspect of it. But I think teens bring a different perspective that is needed in government these days, and we need to listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you highlighted the importance of social media. I think that a lot of people look over its relevance in politics today as well. My final question is, what advice do you have for youth wanting to pursue a career in the field of law?
My advice, the first advice I would give is to find a mentor. Just at every stage of life, you need a mentor. I still have a mentor. I've been a judge for 14 years and I have a mentor. It is very important to find a mentor, and that mentor does not have to look like you, does not have to believe the things that you believe, but that mentor can be someone that you see in a profession and you admire, and someone that you feel like could teach you something. And so it is very important. The first thing I would say is get a mentor. The second thing I would say is to reach out and ask, hey, can I sit with you? Hey, may I come to court with you? May I just come and talk to you for 30 minutes? I don't think that that is done enough, because if you're interested in your future, you have to be persistent about it. And very few times will people say no to you if they know that you're working hard at something towards your future.
Yeah, those are some great suggestions, very tangible and applicable. So those are all my questions I have. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you. Thank you for asking me.
Hi, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Before the Vote. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. As with every other episode, I'm leaving a link to an anonymous Google survey in the description box where you can just let me know what you think of the podcast and what you've learned from it. So It'd be really awesome and helpful to me if you could take that. So again, it's linked in the description box below. Again, thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.